SwiftUI's navigation stack works until your app gets complex. Suddenly you're stuck with hacks, state issues, and limits. In this video, I will compare NavigationStack versus NavigationKit and show you why NavigationKit gives you cleaner code, deep link support, programmatic control, and way more power, all in just a few lines of code. Also, make sure to check out a link in the description for a 50% off discount on NavigationKit while it lasts. Now, today we are going to talk about NavigationStack versus NavigationKit. And to tell you more about it, we are going to create kind of a path with the help of the built-in navigation from SwiftUI, and then we are going to do the same thing with NavigationKit, and you will see the difference clearly. So what is the plan? Well, we have zero view as the root view over here, and then we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those are the views that we are going to present, and we want to mix it up a little bit. We want to, first of all, link, a link type of navigation, like we are going to present it inside the navigation stack, and then a sheet, and then another link type of navigation, and then finally the fourth view as a sheet. So it will be quite complex, and even further, we are aiming to access the fourth view, basically, through a deep link. That would be the main idea. So in order to do this, we need to talk a little bit about how we are going to approach this. So if we are going to do the basic navigation stack, either with the path or with the navigation link view, then we are going to go with a dead end when we are trying to deep link, because navigation link, the actual button, it is a view, needs to be triggered by the user. So instead, we are going to use the navigation destination view modifier. Okay, so let's just start typing out some code and you will see how all of this will work. Okay, so right over here, let's have a VStack, for example, and then we are going to have a state variable. So state private var and is presented. So I'm just going to go with is presented because it's easier to just copy and paste. So we are going to have a button right over here, a button, action and label, and is presented. We are going to just toggle it. And right over here, we are going to have a text of next, maybe. Okay. Finally, let's just add all of these into our buttons, so into our views. So one view, let me just add that state variable, two view, again pasting it in there, and finally a free view. Okay, and now the button. So let me just copy. Well, actually, I'm going to go with the whole VStack. So right over here, this will be our two view, and then our free view. Okay, and then finally our one view. Okay, so coming back to the zero view, what do we actually want? Well, we want to navigate in a stack style. So we are going to add onto the button a navigation destination, and we are going to use the one with is presented. We're going to bind is presented over there, and then the destination will be one view. So whenever we tap on a button, we are going to be presented. One thing to note over here, that the zero view should be added into a navigation stack. So because then navigation destination will be red. So right over here, we are going to go and add navigation stack. And let's just test this out for now. We test succeeded. That's always a good sign. It's attaching. There we go. So next, we are on one view. Okay, you can just go back. Okay, so under the one view, we want to present a sheet. So that should be relatively simple and straightforward. We're just going to add a sheet with the is presented, $is presented, and then with the content, and we are going to go and present our to view. But we already know that on the to view we are going to use another link type of navigation, so this will be encompassed into a navigation stack. And then we go onto our to view. Let's go to the to view. Right over here, we want another link type of navigation. So navigation destination with the is presented, $ is presented, and we are going to present from to view our third view, our third or free view, free view. Okay, so yes, this is going to be present. Yeah, on the free view. After that, we are going to present another sheet. So let's do that. Right over here, dot sheet is presented, $, and then for view. Okay, as you can see, it's a little bit complicated, but I hope that's straightforward what we are doing right over here. Let's build and run and see how this looks like. Okay, click on next, and this should present a sheet. Indeed, it is a sheet, then a link type, and then finally the third sheet with the for view. Okay, that looks really nice. Let's tackle now the deep linking functionality. Currently, all of these triggers, the data changes, are on the views themselves. But if we want to make this like a deep link upon, let's say, a tap of a button, then these need to be decoupled and put into an environment and actually an observable. But for now, let's just create that. Let's create a new empty file, and let's just call this app controller. Okay, let's import SwiftUI, and then that will be at observable class app controller and no NS object. So what we are going to do is just move these is presented into our app controller. So let me just copy that out and paste it in there. So now is one view presented. Let's duplicate this a few times, and then is two view presented, three view presented, and four view presented. Okay, so what we're going to do is just create right over here a function called deep link, and we are going to toggle the is presented. So first of all, is one view presented dot toggle, and then we need to wait for the animation for that navigation to finish. Therefore, we are going to wait with the dispatch queue dot main dot async after, and that would be 0.6, and then we just go self dot is two view presented, and let me just copy this out. And after that, we are going to wait another 0.6 seconds, and then is free view presented, and then finally is for view presented. Yeah, it gets a little bit ugly, but wait till you see how NavigationKit handles all of this with just a few lines of code. But this looks right. And then we just go on to the zero view, and then let's add a new button with an action and label, deep link. Okay, and then the label would be again deep link. Let me just copy this and create a function for it. And now we need to access our app controller. Well, the easiest way of doing that is to add it as an environment app controller. There we go. And then we may access it right over here. So instead of, well, I'm just going to leave the is presented over there. It will be just different. So add environment app controller dot self private var app controller. Okay, so Now let's just go and say app controller dot, and then we have this deep link available. Okay, so that's correct, but currently we are linking this one view destination to the is presented. So actually we do need to remove this. So let's just remove it. It's like that. And then we just go app controller dot is presented over there, and maybe also on the button. But we're going to have an issue right over there. Well, is one view presented, and also right over here is one view presented. On the binding, we are going to have a problem because this is actually an environment and it is not bindable. So what we're going to do, right inside the body, we are going to create a bindable var app controller, and not equals app controller, but the actual environment. So app controller. And now this error should go away. Xcode is a little bit slow on this, so let me just hit Command B so we can actually see that that error went away. Build has succeeded, really nice. Okay, but this is only for this view. So we want to change all of this for the other views. So let me just copy out the environment and replace this one, and then under the free view too, and under the one view also. Okay, next up we want to grab the bindable. So let me just copy this out and then paste it right over here too. Okay, and then free view, and then one view. Okay, and finally we want to link the app controller. So app controller dot is free view presented, and then app controller, I'm going to copy this out and replace this, and that should do it. Let's do the same thing under the free view. Let's just see app controller dot, and then is for view presented, and then copying that out and putting it in there. Okay, and finally on the one view, again, app controller dot is to view presented, and then binding it to the sheet is presented. Let's just take it over there too. Okay, so everything is set up. It should work seamlessly. Again, it's quite a lot of work, but it works. And let's take a look at the deep links. There we go. Really nice. So it works as expected. But it's quite, hard to set up. If you want to change things, then, this is a sheet. If you want to have a navigation stack, it's really, really hard to change the structure of it. Now, let me just show you how easy it is to do this with NavigationKit. So first of all, you want to add all of your destinations inside the destination file from NavigationKit. So I already did that. Cases from 0 to 4 and all of the views that are associated to it. Okay, next up, instead of wrapping all of this up into a navigation stack, what I'm going to do is, first of all, let me just comment all of this out. What I'm going to do is just use a nav stack with a root, and you may choose from the destination, and that is 0. Okay, and because we are not going to change anything in all of the views, we do need to have access to the environment. I'm just going to add this over there, so my Xcode will not crash when I build and run. But actually, you don't need the app controller anymore. So right over here, under the 0 view, we are actually going to comment this one out and then have access to our navigation. So at environment, /.navigation, private var navigation. Okay, and then I'm going to use the one with an asynchronous environment, so it's much nicer. go ahead and check out the link in the description for the whole playlist. And there is one dedicated for deep linking. So await navigation dot, and then we're just going to push, and then link type of navigation. Yes, that's what we want. Yeah, a link type of navigation for the one. Okay, let's duplicate these, and then we are going to have a sheet type of navigation for 2, and then another link type of navigation for 3, and then finally another sheet for 4. Okay, let's see this in action. As you can see, just setting it up, the destinations, and then setting up all of the navigations with a simple push. Let's see, deep link, there we go, as expected. And you have the flexibility. If you want this to be another link, you just change it to link. Let's just see that how it looks. So 3 link types, 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th will be our sheet. Let's click on deep link, 3 links, and then just a sheet. As simple as that. Let me just put that back as a sheet because it resembles with the structure that we have created with the app controller. And that is as simple as it gets. Now, in the next episode, I will show you how you can also pop back. First of all, with native SwiftUI, just the way, with the complicated way, and then how easy it is with NavigationKit. Go ahead and check out the link in the description for a 50% off while the discount lasts.